What's up, everyone, and welcome to BallGame Fantasy. Not welcome back, just welcome in. New channel, same faces. Me and Matt taking you through how to win your fantasy leagues this year, next year, the year after that, and until the end of fucking time.
Hell yeah. And in case you need proof of concept, here's one.
All right.
And multiple others. He actually came very close to winning, what was it, on Underdog.
I did 2 years ago, but I didn't win.
We have proof of concept. You won a league this year too, though.
I've won plenty of leagues.
There you go. Exactly.
I don't have this.
You need it.
I need that.
You need it. This is a Dynasty trophy. Maybe eventually we hit up some Dynasty stuff for you guys. So just let us know in the comments if you want to see some of that. But
yeah. Quick housewarming for the new channel. We're going to start with just a mock draft today. Kind of going in blind. I have no idea what the board looks like. We are going to give you guys our rankings. We're going to drop them for you guys to have a little draft guide tool thing for you guys. It's in the works. It should be done in a couple weeks. Hopefully 2 weeks from when you guys are seeing this. But I don't know. You never know with me how long it takes me to get things done. And then along the way, we're going to be dropping different videos, quarterback sleepers, running backs to avoid, the whole 9 yards, how to draft from every single spot, the 1 spot all the way to the 12 spot, different draft strategies, just everything you need to win your leagues. But like I said, we're just going to start today a welcome to the channel with just a simple mock draft, seeing the board on Sleeper, seeing, anyone who we think is of value, just surface level without setting people out. We started our rankings. Matt's over halfway through.
yeah.
Over halfway done. I'm definitely not over halfway done with mine, but I've done a few teams, so I have an idea of where I think a few guys are going to land here or there. But, yeah, that's pretty much the housewarming. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Let's run this thing up. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. That's the goal. So, yeah, mock draft. We got Matt drafting from the 4 spot. We got our boy Trunks in here just to add another human element. Actually drafting right in the middle of us at the 5 spot, and then I'm at the 6 spot.
It's just how Trunks likes it.
12-team league. I think it's in PPR settings. We're going to draft quarterback, 2 running back, 2 receiver, tight end, double flex, and then 5 bench spots. We're obviously not mock drafting kicker and defense because that's just not that important. All right, get right into it.
Let's do this thing. So I'll ask the question off a rip. As of right now, who do you think is the consensus? We gotta turn this.
Yeah, turn your
There we
sound
go.
off.
Turn that sound off. Who do you think is the consensus 101? If you have the 101 right now, who are you taking?
It's Bijan.
Okay.
It's Bijan. I think Bijan's going to be on his way to having a CJ2K-esque year. I think he's going to get close to the total scrimmage yards record. I mean, he was a beast last year. I mean, he had, 800 receiving yards?
Yep.
I think he's going to end around the same place. I think his Vegas line right now is 650, something like that.
Who else are they throwing to in that offense? He's at minimum the 3rd target in that offense. So this board fell perfectly for me. I have the guy that I consider the wide receiver 1 overall, Jamar Chase, come to me at 4. So I'm happy about that. Love the start to my draft. Trunks takes JSN. Interesting.
I'm in a weird spot here.
Yeah,
at
definitely.
the 6.
Definitely.
So there's obviously, some running backs. Christian McCaffrey, the RB1 overall last year, but I think I'm going to stay away from that for this draft. The 400 touch curse, not feeling that. Jonathan Taylor, I don't know what the Colts offense is going to look like with Daniel Jones coming back from an Achilles injury. No more Michael Pittman. James Cook, new offensive coordinator. Well,
same old.
Technically new offensive coordinator, but new head coach too, and Joe Brady, who was the OC before. I don't know if I'm going to go there either. CeeDee Lamb could be a good choice, but Dak Prescott, the curse with Dak Prescott, 1 year on, 1 year off. History says this is going to be an off year. This is a guy who I haven't statted out yet, but I think very, very, very highly of this year. He's a model of consistency. I think he was number 1 amongst wide receivers in red zone targets last year. I'm going with Amon-Ra St. Brown here. I think Amon-Ra, throughout the course of his career so far, you just know what you're going to get from Amon-Ra.
It has been super consistent throughout his career, and I actually did stat out Amon-Ra to this point, and I have the guy for basically 113 catches, 1,300 yards, and 9 touchdowns. I mean, if you get that from the 106, that's a pretty great start there. So
he's a guy who his floor is basically the wide receiver 5 if he plays a full
100%.
17, who hasn't been the wide receiver 1 overall yet, which I think is in his favor because I think he can get there. End of the first round goes McCaff, James Cook, Jonathan Taylor. So the 3 running backs I spoke about, CeeDee Lamb, and then Jettas and Drake London to end the first round. It's about how I expect the first round of drafts to go.
201 is the Ken Walker spot, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a guy I don't want to draft.
I am not there for that. For Ken Walker being my 201, I am not there for that at all. So,
I would draft all 4 of those running backs who went after him over him. Again, that's surface level right now without statting people out. Just looking at it and what I know, I would draft all 4 of those guys before Ken Walker.
Completely agree. Achane scares me just a little bit, but who else are they going to give the ball to in that offense at this point? All volume alone, I think he's going to be great. So what do you do here? 50 seconds on it.
This is interesting.
It's a strange spot.
I think I want to go with the running back here just because I drafted a receiver. I don't want to go 0 RB to start my first ever mock draft of the year.
Is the value there?
Jeremiah Love's interesting. I think over the past 10 years, no running back drafted top 10 has finished below an RB1 in their rookie year. I've been seeing trending. But I love Chase Brown, man. I mean, we talked about it on the podcast. Go check out the podcast. We expect a lot of greatness from the Bengals offense, and I think Chase Brown's going to be one of the bigger beneficiaries in that offense. So I'm going to go with Chase Brown. He has a floor as a receiving back. He's going to get a bulk of the carries. And the Bengals also, in terms of like rushing efficiency, were top 5 in rushing EPA last year. With an improved offensive line. So I love Chase Brown there in the middle of the second round.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all. I think Chase is great. I am with you in terms of you originally, when you spoke about Jeremiah Love off camera, you were like, I'm not so sure about it. I'm in on his rookie season. I just think the volume's going to be there. I think their run game will be significantly better, and they're going to look to give him the ball as much as possible. He's a very good receiver, too. So I'm in on the Jeremiah Love hype train. I do have him in my top 10 running backs. All right, this is a rough spot. I don't know how to feel about this. A lot of question marks on everybody here. Nico, obviously the injury concerns are real, but if he's healthy, he's a wide receiver 1. Pickens, as you said, the Dak curse, scares me a little bit. And then Olave, also injury problems. The guy's basically 1 concussion away from not playing football anymore, so it's a little bit terrifying in this spot. All right. But I think there's a guy here that's very motivated, and this might be a reach. And as of right now, I have not statted him out. But I'm going to take A.J. Brown. I think A.J. paired up with Drake May this year. I think he's going to be fantastic. I know he's getting close to that age cliff for receivers, but at the bare minimum, I think he's got one more great year in him, to be honest with you. All right, moving forward. I don't have a running back yet. And I got a couple staring me in the face. Like, Josh Jacobs here is phenomenal value, by the way. I just want to say that. It's just the issue is obviously the legal questions with Josh Jacobs are real. If I could get a healthy Josh Jacobs, I'd love that. But even though it's PPR, 3rd round for Derrick Henry is ridiculous, and I'm taking Derrick Henry. As my RB1, I couldn't be happier.
I like that. Runner receivers before that, too, Trey McBride. And then Bucky Irving going at the 3-3 is kind of shocking.
Yeah. Whoa. That's going to have to probably come down over time.
Yeah. And then Trunks goes with Josh Jacobs. I'm back on the board. Could go tight end here and go with Brock. Josh Allen's looking me in the face.
Yes, he is. Tet.
There's a bunch of receivers for a while, honestly, who I think are in probably the same tier. You have T, you have Tet, Garrett, and then you have Zay Flowers, who's like 8 guys down, a Jameson Williams, even a Smitty and a Buka. Ton of value at receiver there. The running backs get thin, though. You have Brees, you have Kyron, you have Travis Etienne, you have Javonte Williams, and then I think there's a big drop-off, so I want to make sure I get one of those guys. I'm going to go with Kyron Williams here. Rams probably going to be a top 3 offense in the league at their floor. I get a guy who's going to score basically all the running back touchdowns there. There's a lot of hype around Blake Corum, but not really worried about it. There was a lot of hype around Blake Corum last year.
I was about to say it. Then
we got
Javonte goes right before you.
2 quarterbacks off the board. Lamar, Brees, Josh Allen go. And then a bunch of those receivers, T, Tet, Garrett, Waddle, Adams, J-Mo, Brock goes, Travis Etienne, and Javante go. Back on the board. I talked about those receivers. I honestly have my pick of the litter here. Luther Burden, who everyone loves. Ladd, who everyone loves. Zay Flowers, who everyone hates.
Yes.
And then Smitty and Ibuka, who everyone loves. This is tough for me. Again, I'm going to keep saying it. This is all surface level stuff. I don't have projections for a lot of these guys. I'm in on the Chargers offense. I'm in on Mike McDaniel. That's my good friend. I'm going to go with Ladd McConkey here.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Ladd. He should lead the team in targets. He was electric in his rookie year. Took a step back last year, but the Chargers were a mess last year. And then our good friend Trunks goes with Smitty.
Full transparency, I think Devontae Smith is going to have a wide receiver 1 season this year. I think the guy has had the talent of a wide receiver 1, of a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL for a very long time. And I fully believe it's going to get unleashed this year. I genuinely do feel like this guy could have a JSN level season from last year.
JSN level season from last year is a lot.
I'm not saying that the passing volume won't be there, the air yards won't be there, but at the same time, I think Smitty is very capable of going for 1,400 and 100 catches next year. And Trunks gets an amazing value there. Very upset that he took my guy. I'm going to build my team a little bit differently. I'm very high on this guy. He's actually my tight end 3, and I'm going to take him right here. Don't care. I'm taking Colston Loveland. I would be pissed if he got taken on this swing back. I think he's the number 1 target in that Chicago Bears offense. So I'm gonna put it on the table and take Colston there. After that, we got Luther, his teammate Zay Flowers, Drake May. What a strange build Team 1 is going for here. DJ Moore, Travion Henderson, and Emeka Ibuka go next. All right.
The value on Emeka is insane.
Insane. So now I am left with a decision. Do I reach on a running back that I don't feel like deserves to be drafted here? And I know one's not coming back to me. So that's the one problem here. Oh, boy, this is tough. Just honestly, I'm going to take who I believe is best player on the board. And yes, it's a reach, but I think the guy's going to get volume. I'm taking David Montgomery.
Interesting.
I like Monty in the Texans offense this year. They went out and traded for him. They made an effort to go get him. And I do believe he's their RB1 there, and I believe there's going to be a ton of volume. I statted him out, actually. So I feel good. I feel confident that David Montgomery is the pick there.
Then Terry goes off the board. This is a weird spot here in the 5th round.
Very strange.
Could go quarterback and take Joe Burrow, but I don't know if I love that. The running backs here are just rough.
Yeah.
RJ Harvey, Cam Scatterbo, and Tootin are top guys on the board. I'm not feeling that. I'm going to go with another receiver here. I think it's something I tend to do when I play fantasy football. I like to have at least one of these guys on my team, and that is a rookie.
Yep.
I'm going to go with Carnell Tate.
Yep.
I think rookies, that's when you're going to get the most value on these guys in their entire career because people don't know. This is a guy who could step right in and see 140 targets. He's paired alongside a former number 1 overall pick, paired alongside an offensive coordinator who feeds his number 1 target a lot of targets. We saw Neighbors 2 years ago, Wandale a couple years ago, Diggs with the Bills. So you know Brian Dable is going to feed his number 1. So I'm going to go with Carnell Tate here to be my wide receiver 3.
Yeah, I love the pick. I was leaning Carnell Tate or David Montgomery and took Monty because I wanted the back. Because it gets thin after this. Like the running backs were RJ Harvey number 1 over there. It gets even worse from this point forward. So,
right, and then it comes back to me.
Jeez.
Could load up on another receiver. I think that's what I'm going to do. You took Colston Loveland. Luther Burden went 1 pick after him. I'm here 2 rounds later, and I could get the guy who could have more targets than both of those guys. I'm going to take a chance on Rome Odunze. Think it's a good strategy to try and draft the Bears wherever you see value. And in this draft, I think Rome Odunze in the middle of the 6th round is a great value.
I completely agree. And now it gets tough because there are some good receivers left on the board. It's just the top two here. Christian Watson was awesome when he came back from injury last year, but the problem with Christian Watson his entire career has been the fact that he's always hurt. Jordan Tyson coming out of the draft, he was our wide receiver 1. And the problem is the guy's always hurt. Courtland Sutton, Mr. Reliable. He's had no less than 1,000 yards or 10 touchdowns in each of the last 3 seasons. DK, I can never press the button on a DK Metcalf. I just can't do it.
Yeah, I'm kind of over that.
So you know what? We're going to swing for the fences. In our first mock draft, we're going to actually swing for the fences here. All of the hype in the offseason has been that this guy's taking a step, that this guy is back to his rookie season form. I'm going to do it. Brian Thomas Jr.
Wow.
I want to shoot for all the upside possible, and I think Brian Thomas could be back to the guy that we saw his rookie year. And now it's back to me. And after me was his teammate Tootin, Christian Watson, Courtland Sutton, Jordan Tyson, all the guys that I just spoke about, Ramondre Stevenson, and Justin Herbert. I actually think Stevenson's a pretty good value there too. All right. It gets tough from here because there is not much. But continuing on that trend of shooting for upside, another guy that we think is going to have a big season or at least finally break out the way we expect him to, also a third-year wide receiver, going with Marvin Harrison.
Saw that picture of him the other day?
What was the picture?
He's jacked.
Is he?
He's even more jacked than he was
Yeah,
at this
but
time
they said he
last
was
year.
jacked
No,
last
but he's
year,
really,
too.
Here, I'll show you real quick. He's, like, really jacked.
They keep telling me that he's jacked. I need to get excited for Marvin Harrison. I like the value here in the seventh
he's,
round,
like,
though.
super jacked.
Oh, he put on a ton of fucking muscle.
Yeah.
Holy
He's
shit.
coming to be tight end 1. Coming to take Trey
Yo,
McBride's job.
I just took a tight end in the 7th round, thinking he's a good wide receiver.
So you went with Marv, and then Trunks went with Caleb Williams there. I'm kind of pissed. I was definitely looking at Herbert to stack with Ladd. I was definitely looking at Caleb to stack with Rome. That definitely throws off my plan there. I'm a big stack guy. I think stacks win fantasy football championships. You make it there, and your stack has a good championship week, you win the championship.
Yep.
So I think the upside with stacks is unmatched. The board sucks here.
So bad. What I've noticed is that this year in fantasy, it really feels like the talent falls off.
The board falls off a lot.
After like the 5th round, it feels like the talent really falls. Even the 4th round, you could say. After the 4th round, the talent gap is huge, in my opinion. So,
And, I mean, I took a swing on Ladd's 3rd year, having a bounce-back year. I took a swing on a rookie Carnell Tate. Took a swing on Rome Odunze, finally putting it together in his 3rd year. I'm going to take another swing here. I'm going to go with the guy who a lot of people had as wide receiver 1 going into the draft. New offensive coordinator in Philly. Hopefully they throw to him over the middle. That's his bread and butter. I'm going to go with Mekhi Lemon, who I feel like if it works out for Mekhi Lemon, he's a league winner. Because if it works out, that means he's getting peppered with targets. And in PPR, that's obviously what you're shooting for there. So I feel like out of the guys on the board there, he had the most upside.
completely agree.
Then we got a bunch of mid off the board. DK Gadsden, Michael Wilson, Jacoby Myers, Kyle Monungai, Chuba Hubbard, Tony Pollard, Dart, Corum, Dowdle, Pierce. It's back on me. And again, I feel like the board is absolutely terrible. But actually, I'm not going to go there.
What were you considering?
I was considering going with a running back, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep loading up on wide receiver, I think, and just shoot for upside with these wide receivers. I'm building my team with the mantra of a few of these guys have to work out. I'm going to go with Parker Washington here.
Okay.
You went with Brian Thomas, who probably I will project to lead the Jaguars in targets, but Parker Washington's a guy who could lead the Jaguars in targets and was incredible for them down the stretch of the year, looking like he could be a true wide receiver 1 in this league.
Yeah, 100%. It's so difficult from here. Trunks on the board. I don't even know where I want to go. I see a guy way down here, and I'll probably take him with my second pick when it swings back to me because I don't think he's going to go. I'm going to keep punting on quarterback. I will say there's some very good as per usual every year, I feel like there's some really good, like, high upside tight end swings down the board here that I don't need to take because I already took Colston Loveland. But, man, there are definitely some guys. So it's all quarterback and tight end here pretty much. And then there's J.K. Dobbins that just finds his way in there. And I'm not gonna do that. I can't pull the trigger there. I'm going to continue the trend of taking these younger receivers. Jordan Addison's in a much better offense now with a quarterback that could actually throw the football. I do expect Addison to be very productive this year as the wide receiver too. I'm going to take Jordan Addison and take the upside swing. I desperately need another running back, and I will get one here for sure. This is probably a reach, but all the reports about Bucky Irving are that we don't know anything about his situation really. This guy was amazing for the Pittsburgh Steelers last year. Team MVP is what they called him. Kenneth Gainwell in the 9th round. I think that's a great value.
And he should have a role no matter what, just because of how great he is as a pass catcher. Trunks goes with Aaron Jones. That's
of course
funny.
That's par for the course there.
So I'm definitely looking at running back here. I have 5 receivers, I think I have now. I have 6 receivers and 2 running backs, so I need another running back here. I'm waiting on tight end. I'm waiting on quarterback. There's 2 running backs that stick out to me. It's JCM and Jadarian Price. One's a rookie. One's going into his 2nd year. I have concerns about the Seahawks offense losing Clint Kubiak. I like what the Commanders did in bringing in David Blau. I don't love that Rashad White is there to take time away from JCM. But JCM was really good as a runner of the football last year, so I'm going to take the shot there. Hopefully he wins the job outright and is the RB1 in Washington.
Yeah. I think it's just like the draft cost for Jadarian Price in terms of where he went in the real NFL draft. He was a first-round pick. It's like, to get a value like that, even this far down the board, though, if you do go with him here.
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
I was going to say.
Yeah, he makes it back to me. And, I mean, Sleeper's all messed up right now, to be fair. No one's really drafting right now, so this stuff is going to change as time goes on. Like, there's no reason for James Conner to be ranked ahead of Jadarian Price. But that's exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go with the rookie. 1st-round pick. Him going where he went in the draft just gives him historically a higher chance of working out. You know, if he was the first pick in the 2nd round, probably wouldn't be as confident as I am in him, but 1st-round running backs typically pan out to some extent, so I'm going to go with Price there.
Completely agree. All right, so Quentin Johnston gets drafted by Troncali. Again, like I said, there's so much tight end talent down the board here. It's kind of ridiculous. Also, another thing to keep in mind to everybody out there watching that has their drafts, all the people on this turn here have taken their quarterbacks and their tight ends. If you see that that's the case, do not waste this first pick with a quarterback or a tight end. Wait till your swing back. Do not waste the pick. So, for me here, there's a few receivers here that I'm looking at that I see could take a big-time jump this year as well. I've been shooting for upside this entire draft, it feels like, and I'm going to continue to do so. Man, the hype on Xavier Worthy was palpable, and last year he dealt with some injuries. I'm going to say, with Rashee Rice in legal trouble and all the situations there, Travis Kelce another year older, if Pat Mahomes is healthy, Xavier Worthy might be the #1 target. I think it's a worthy gamble in the 10th round.
A worthy gamble.
Exactly. So, Brenton Strange, Jake Ferguson. As I said before, this is not going to happen in your draft, though. This is auto picks, obviously. 2 tight ends come off the board, Jordan Love and then another tight end in Kenyon Sadiq. I'm intrigued with Kenyon Sadiq this year as a first-round tight end, but I don't think I'm going to be drafting him. Tower Algier and Stephon Diggs. Got to sign with a team because I think he'll jump significantly in ADP if he does. All right. This is tough. I'm going to just draft this guy. I don't typically go this way in terms of drafting 2 tight ends, but I'm so high on him, and he's on my team, my actual team. I'm a New York Giant fan, so I am so high on Isaiah Likely this year, especially with Malik Neighbors out. I think the potential for him to be the number 1 target while Neighbors is out is there, and the number 2 target when Neighbors gets back. This is a great sleeper tight end, in my opinion, if he doesn't fly up in ADP. So,
yeah. Coming back to me here, I spoke about missing on Justin Herbert to stack with Ladd. Spoke about missing on Caleb to stack with Rome. He's my third option, but he's a damn good third option.
Yep.
He's been great in fantasy for some time now. Went for over 4,000 yards last year. I think he finished as a top 5 quarterback last year. I'm going to go with Jared Goff and stack him up with Amon-Ra St. Brown here.
There it is. I like it. Goff is, if it's a good matchup for Goff, Goff's going to throw for 3 touchdowns, and he's going to have a great week in fantasy.
For sure.
So,
James Conner, Jaden Reed, Romeo Deuce, Khalil Shakir, Travis Kelce, Jawan Jennings, Shaden Higgins, Woody Marsh, Siren Tracy, Baker Mayfield, Casey Concepcion, and Josh Downs, all off the board. Comes back to me here. I definitely still need a tight end, but that's not the way I'm going to go. Sometimes in fantasy, it's just about drafting your guys, the guys you like. This guy had an incredible playoff game in his playoff debut.
Yep.
Over 100 yards and a touchdown. Missed a lot of time last year, didn't really get going till the end of the year, but when he came back, he was competing to be the number 1 target in that offense. I'm going to go with Jalen Coker here.
Yep.
Another just high upside shot, like maybe the Panthers offense takes a step up, they throw more, and Jalen Coker's a reliable flex option.
100%. I like the pick from Trunks with Jordan Mason there. I am going back to the Minnesota well, and I think this is a quarterback that's heavily slept on. Kyler Murray is probably the biggest quarterback sleeper in your fantasy drafts, in my personal opinion. I think with Kevin O'Connell, with the weapons that Minnesota has, Kyler's set for a bounce-back year. Playing for a big-time deal this upcoming free agency. I'm taking Kyler Murray, and I think I'm more than content with that as my QB1 for the time being. So, and then I'm going to take another, well, damn, I was planning on taking Jonah Coleman, but Jonah Coleman got drafted. J.K. Dobbins obviously set to get hurt at some point or another, unfortunately. And on top of that, R.J. Harvey sucks at football.
Yes.
So Jonah Coleman absolutely has an opportunity to lead the backfield there. Now it's all tight ends on the board, and I'm obviously not going to take one of them. You know what? I mean, in the 13th round, this guy's sitting there, doesn't have a team, don't care. He'll get drafted significantly higher than this just off of name value alone, but Tyreek Hill's just sitting there. I'm going to take him in the 13th round. Just
Why
because.
not? Why not? I have one last pick here. I need a tight end. A couple guys on the board who are potential breakout candidates. A lot of people like A.J. Barner. A lot of people like David Njoku pairing up with Justin Herbert in L.A. There's one guy. He's my guy. Again, sometimes it's just about drafting your guys and being confident in your guys. He also steps into a situation where he could be the number 2 target in this offense. They left behind, I think, 170 targets with the departure of Zach Ertz and Deebo Samuel.
Yep.
Talking about the Washington Commanders offense, and I'm talking about Chig Okonkwo. This guy should be a top 10 tight end at his floor in fantasy this year. Should be second on the team in targets. Should score a bunch of touchdowns more than he normally does.
Yep.
He's been one of those guys who we've been waiting for him to break out every year. It just hasn't happened. He played in Tennessee. It was a terrible situation. Pairs up with one of the youngest, best young quarterbacks in the league in Jaden Daniels. Again, there's a ton of opportunity there for him, so I love Chig this year.
I was looking at, I thought you were leaning Antonio Williams a little bit and adding another rookie there. I think Antonio Williams could have a good year, too, in his rookie season. That Washington offense is wide open. I have no idea who's going to be that number 2 target. So taking one of them, if Jaden Daniels is healthy, there's a lot of upside there. The last pick of the draft, fitting. Travis Hunter. So.
Interesting draft.
A lot of this is going to change.
A lot of it is going to change. Who's some guys who won the video like this? Who's one guy just in this draft that you felt like was overdrafted and one guy that you felt like was a little bit underdrafted?
I think 2 guys that came to mind almost immediately for the both of us that we mentioned, Kenneth Walker and Bucky Irving. The Bucky Irving question marks are real. The Ken Walker, I think a lot of people are so entrenched with the fact that Ken Walker signed with the Chiefs, and yes, they paid him a bag, but they paid him a bag to keep him healthy for when the playoffs come. If they know what's best for Ken Walker, follow the blueprint that the Seattle Seahawks had last year. 50% of snaps or less, have someone else do the dirty work, and Ken Walker will be an efficient runner and be healthy for the playoffs. I don't think that translates to fantasy success. On top of that, like I said, Bucky, a lot of question marks. And then underdrafted for me, like I said before, I think in the same vein, I think Kenneth Gainwell, because of the Bucky Irving question marks, and just some other guys. I think Parker Washington is severely underdrafted. I think that I'll give one more. Chuba Hubbard at the end of the 7th round.
Yes.
In my opinion, is severely underdrafted.
That's where I was going to go with this, Chuba. I mean, guys going before him right now, Kyle Monangai, Ramondre Stevenson, Jalen Warren, R.J. Harvey, those are guys who are going to be in a timeshare. You know they're going to be in a timeshare. I mean, Brian Robinson goes a whole round after him, my bad. Tony Pollard goes a pick after him, who's another guy who could be a value,
also
honestly.
very
But
yes.
Those guys going before him, you know they're in a timeshare, whereas Chuba Hubbard, it's more likely than not that he is the RB1 for the entirety of the season. Jonathan Brooks, I know a lot of people are hyped about Jonathan Brooks. He's finally healthy.
Yeah.
He looks good in OTAs. We'll see what training camp looks like for him, but it's a guy who hasn't played in the NFL. We don't know what he's going to look like on an NFL field. We don't know if he's going to be able to stay healthy for an NFL season. Chuba Hubbard's shown before that he could handle a full workload. Might not be efficient. It might not be the prettiest, but sometimes that's not what you need in fantasy football. You need the guys who are going to touch the football.
Yes.
And Chuba Hubbard's a guy who is going to see the football, at least for the first couple weeks of the season while Jonathan Brooks gets his
100%.
feet wet. If Jonathan Brooks takes the job, you tip your cap, but you draft Chuba with confidence, I think. So that's exactly where I was going to go for an undervalued guy. In terms of overvalued guys, I agree with the running backs, Ken Walker, Bucky Irving. I think Garrett Wilson's being a little bit overvalued. I love Garrett the player. I really do. He just hasn't put it together yet.
Yep.
And I don't know if Geno Smith is the guy who's going to help him put it together. I don't know if Frank Reich calling plays for him is the guy who's going to help him put it together. When there's a guy, Jalen Waddle, who goes right after him, paired with Sean Payton and Bo Nix, who have been great in fantasy. Devontae Adams led the league in touchdowns last year on a top 5 offense in the league. Jameson Williams, you know what you're going to get some big weeks from Jameson Williams. You might get some bad weeks from Jameson Williams. Ladd and Smitty. I think Garrett Wilson, can he break out? Does he have the talent to break out? Absolutely. Will I draft Garrett Wilson? If he goes a little bit later than those guys, yeah, I would dabble with some Garrett Wilson. But those are guys who I think are sure things. Jalen Waddle, I think, is a sure thing if he's on the football field. Devontae Adams going to score a lot of touchdowns. Ladd's going to lead the Chargers in targets. Smitty's going to lead the Eagles in, I was about to say 76ers, going to lead the Eagles in targets. So, a guy like Garrett Wilson, yeah, he's probably going to lead the Jets in targets, but what does that mean? It's a bad offense when all these guys going after him play on good offenses.
I feel like Garrett was handed the Terry McLaurin situation where it's very good, and we all know it. It's just it'll never turn into that elite season until he gets that great quarterback. And it's just this poor guy's just in a terrible situation, and it's not his fault. But all the guys before, you would draft T. Higgins over Garrett Wilson?
Yes.
Okay. Tet, same thing?
Everyone who got drafted before him, I would draft before him, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just, like you said, it's the Terry McLaurin situation, and it's this new quarterback comes in. He's going to throw to Garrett Wilson all the time. It's cool. Every quarterback that's been there is throwing to Garrett Wilson the whole time. It doesn't translate to anything. So, yeah, I'm at that price at the top of the 4th round. I don't love Garrett Wilson.
I will say one thing to play devil's advocate, at least a little bit. With Justin Fields to start the year last year, he was getting all the targets and was really good.
It was looking good, but just don't love it.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's always something. Is there another value? One more?
I'll look a little bit down the board. I liked Pollard's value. I like Quentin Johnston's value too, going where he's going. I don't know, I'm not gonna specifically say I like him over this guy or that guy. I just think kind of the same sentiment as Ladd. The Chargers were a mess last year. The offensive line was hobbled all year. Greg Roman was calling plays, and you get this guy who's with the times, who's young, who uses motion, who uses, all these pre-snap disguises on the offensive end, and Mike McDaniel. I think QJ is going to eat. His calling card coming out of college was taking balls over the middle of the field and then being a yak guy.
Yep.
Mike McDaniel, he's going to get his guys in the positions to be able to do that. So I think QJ, I think he could take a step up in his game. Like, we know QJ's a cool deep threat, like just straight line, catch the ball. Sometimes he drops it, score a couple touchdowns. But I think Mike McDaniel could unlock a new element to Quentin Johnston's game.
He's also gotten better every single year
Right.
of his career.
Yeah.
Every
I mean,
single
I
year
just
of his
traded
career.
for him in Dynasty. Like, I wanted to take a swing on him. In redraft, I'm going to take a couple swings on him. He will be on a couple of my teams for sure. Honestly, he's a
best
guy.
ball demon.
I was going to say, he's a guy where, like, he's going to be around this range. Like, he maybe moves up to the 9th round, but he's going to be around this range. In this range, there's not many guys with more upside than him, I don't think.
No.
So, yeah, I like Quentin Johnston's price a lot.
Yeah. I think this, like I said before, this is so scheduled to change. All of this, like so many of these guys are going to fly up the board, fly down the board. It's very early in draft season.
Yeah, that's why we didn't want to start with, like, quarterback sleepers or players to avoid, because the board's not what it's going to be. So figured we just take a look at the board and see what it's looking like. But
and it is all over the place.
All over the place. Also, we're drafting with a bunch of computers. Hopefully the next time we do a mock draft, we could get people in here, fill it up, get some humans in here.
Which, speaking of, if you want the opportunity to join, you could join our Discord, and we will probably be dropping in there the potential to do a mock draft with us at multiple different points throughout the offseason. So go join that. Follow this channel. Follow BallGame Podcast. Follow BallGame Trivia. We got a lot going on, a lot of content coming out for you guys, and there's more on the way. So,
yeah. Comment down below, too, any fantasy-related videos you want to see. I touched on it in the beginning. I just said it before, too. Mock drafts, sleepers, players to avoid, draft strategies. Kind of basic stuff is what we went with, but I mean, that's the stuff people need to win their leagues. But if there's any ideas you guys have, anything specific you want to see or you want to know about the fantasy football landscape, feel free to comment it down below. And if we could fit it in, like, we'll make a video about it. Also, we'll just answer your comment, too, if you just have a question about a player or anything like that. So, yeah, leave a like, subscribe, and with that,
BallGame.